Do you do videos or give talks virtually? Have you ever thought about how there are a lot of distractions online and people could be doing something else and then see your video and then click off of it pretty soon, or you might be holding a virtual webinar and people get distracted. So how can you create more engagement so that more new patients come from your talks that you do virtually as a chiropractor? So, welcome. I'm Chen Yen, your 6 and 7 figure practice makeover mentor at introvertedvisionary.com, your host for the Chiro Secure Show today. Let's have a look at 3 hot tips to engaging your audience virtually so that they stay connected with you as long as possible, to develop that connection with you and then decide to move forward with wanting to work with you. So, as far as the um, first hot tip I want you to think about is, what are you, well, before we get into that, I'd love to have you type in the comments below. So let me know, what are you doing currently to engage your audience? And this is in a virtual setting. So the number one hot tip is, are you asking people very easy questions early on that they can say yes to? So, or answer. So, this would be something like, uh, go ahead and comment in the chat, where are you watching this from? Or what time is it there right now, if you have an audience that's outside of your immediate area. And the reason to do this is that we'd like to start off by asking a question that's easy for people to engage and also not feel like they won't want to answer that question. Because if you ask a question that might be like they that is where some people might not answer it, then you're not able to engage, right? But it's very easy for people to say, "Oh, I'm watching this from such and such place, or such and such town, or it's so and so time, such and such time here." So that's the number one hot tip, is to think about what is an easy to answer question that gets your audience engaged right from the start. The second hot tip is then also, what could you bring up tied to the topic that you are talking about, which go over the like it. So let me rephrase this. So what is it that you're talking about related to the challenges that they're going through related to the topic that you're talking about? So ask them a question related to what is their biggest challenge related to that thing. So maybe if you're talking about back pain or neck pain, you can bring up, what's the most frustrating thing about having back pain? So that way they are able to engage with you and tell you a little bit more about their situation. So this is going to benefit you and them twofold. One is so that they are already feeling like you're listening to them and they feel more engaged. And two, you get a better sense of what it is that they're dealing with. So you could tailor what you're talking about to what they're dealing with, and it'll be more relevant to them. The worst thing that someone in your audience can experience is to sit there and then kind of wonder, I think this isn't really relevant. I don't think I'm going to watch any more of this, right? So being able to gauge that and adapt during your video or your talk is helpful. And if you are hosting something like this on Zoom, you can ask people to type this to you privately, for example, and that way other people can't see it. And if you're doing this on video or something like that, you could always tell people to private message you. So the people who may not feel comfortable in sharing that kind of thing openly, they will feel comfortable in just messaging you privately. So really make it easy for them to engage with you, because when the more they're engaged, the more likely they are going to stick with listening to you, the more likely they're going to have more connection with you, understand what it is that you can help them with, and then lead to becoming a patient of yours. So uh, the something else that can be helpful is having live polling during your virtual webinar, or if you're doing a video, is to like ask people a question, ask your audience a question, and then, for example, if you're using something like Zoom, there's a way to have people pull an answer uh, among a few different answers. And then what's really exciting for the audience is for you to be able to pull that information in real time and share it back with them. Like, oh, 77% of you said this, and then 20 something percent of you said this, right? So people can feel like they're connected with the topic you're talking about and the point that you're making, and that they contributed to that piece as well. And so um, acknowledging them is really important. Just because you get the them commenting on things, if you have them commenting and then you don't acknowledge them, like let's say you just keep talking or you what you were going to say anyway, then it won't really do too much. Whereas if you say, oh, hi, so good to see you here, so and so, and or so and so says such and such and such. So those little things that weaving in during your talk can make a big difference. I remember when I first started speaking, these kinds of things made me feel kind of flustered because I was always wanting to make sure that I got my point across. And then if I had another thing to think about, I would feel like, oh, I have to look around, and then I get distracted. And then what was I saying again? So, these kinds of things, I will say, if you start doing and you feel a little flustered at first, that is normal because it's the first time you're doing it. And what I found from experience is that the more you include audience engagement, and then it just becomes second nature. But at first, just give yourself a bit of grace if you feel a little clumsy with it. Okay, so let's talk about what is a um, third, like a hot tip related to an additional hot tip. uh, well, I want to share this with. So I brought up the first two hot tips. Number one is asking people to comment on something that's easy to comment on earlier in the conversation. Number two, that ask them about their biggest frustrations or challenges related to the topic that you're talking about. And then number three is to ask for engagement throughout and acknowledge them. Also, do you have a way that makes it easy for them to book with you? So, how do you end up going from being helpful and informative to then inspiring people to book? Has that ever felt kind of awkward before, where it's like you're really good at the teaching, at the educating part, but you don't have a really good way of segueing into booking an appointment with you? So what can happen is then people might be learning about this, or they're more interested now, but then they don't end up becoming patients of yours, and that can start to feel like free public service after a while. So do you have a framework with what you're saying in your talk that not only educates and but also inspires them to book? Do you also have a good close of your talk virtually, right? So we get more into this in terms of the what to consider that will help you with getting booked, where to get booked, and then how have opportunities where you are speaking in front of a good number of people. Who imagine speaking in front of a number an audience 20 or a 30 or even 50 who are interested in hearing what you have to say. And then even if you had like people become your patients or 10 people become your patients, that's pretty good for what, 1 hour of your time, isn't it? And that's so much better than feeling like you need to post on social media every day, or needing to hire someone, pay someone to post on social media every day. Doing these things in an effective way can save you so much time, and have it be so like people will see you as in a different limelight. It's not like you're advertising and trying to say, hello, I'm here, but rather people see you as a go-to chiropractor, as a go-to practitioner when you are um, educating, when you are speaking. And so you can either host these yourself in terms of things virtually, a webinar virtually, or you could get booked by organizations. So did you know that there are organizations who would be absolutely happy to book you right now and have you in front of their audience of 20, 50, even 100 people? So so that way you can grow your practice. So you can go to getbookedspeaking.com/virtual. Again, getbookedspeaking.com/virtual for how to do that, where to get those opportunities and start bringing in a consistent flow of patients from it. Let me share, so you can click on the link and then register for that free masterclass now, and I'll help you with that further. So let me share with you a hot additional tip of engaging your audience. So this is where are you an engaging speaker, or are you an informational speaker? So an engaging speaker will have you be like, have the audience be interested throughout it, whereas an informational speaker is often going over things like how chiropractic is how you need to watch your spine, and like the audience getting a lot of information there. So do people get that chiropractic is not a commodity? Do people get that they need to come see you? So I was at Sprouts this past weekend, and there was a rep there who, you know how they give free samples and things like that. So there's someone there from Oramir. Okay, so they're showing me these toothpaste. So I actually already buy these toothpaste, but so they said that it's an Ayurvedic toothpaste, and they said, oh, we're having a sale. It's $7.45, and it's usually $9. So I thought to myself, on the one hand, I did do like the toothpaste, but then on the other hand, there are these that I saw at, oh, sorry, I was at Natural Grocers, right? So these that I saw at Sprouts, and look at it, it's bigger, right? And they were having a 2-for-1 sale, and it was basically $6 for two of them. So that means I would get one of these for $3, whereas I would get one of these for $7.45. Now, have you ever bought things before where one thing was more expensive, but then you ended up like you bought the more expensive thing though? Why is that? It's because you somehow found that to be something you liked better. And you were just, it didn't matter that was more expensive, you bought it, right? But in this case, because of some factors of ingredients and different things, that to me I was making a decision based on commodity. So it was like, well, in that moment in time, I went with, it wasn't like I went with the more expensive one because I didn't have I looked at it as a commodity. So are people looking at, when you're talking about chiropractic, are people getting that it's not like, oh, I could just see any chiropractor and it'll be pretty much the same, or I'll just go see a chiropractor and my insurance covers it, and it'll just be fine. I'm glad that you because if you're not getting this across very clearly about why people need to come to your practice instead of other chiropractors, whether you are speaking in a webinar or a video, or with in other aspects of your practice when you're marketing your practice, if you educate people about chiropractic, they might start understanding it and understanding that, oh, chiropractic can help me. But will they go see you? They might end up just thinking, oh, okay, so now I know I need a chiropractor. Oh, I think this person, it has pretty good fees, and or my insurance covers it, and then they go there. So how can you communicate that in an effective way so that people are drawn to see you instead of another chiropractor? And so, how can you develop that connection within your talk so that happens? So those are some hot tips in terms of what to think about. These are things that we help our clients with all the time, and it's made a huge difference in them being able to attract new patients from their talks. And like, we've had clients where it's like they do a talk in front of 20 people, and 5 of them become new patients, and sometimes even 10 become new patients, right? That's like a game changer. When you have that ability to just show up and in an hour of your time get 5 new patients, 10 new patients. How many of you would love to have that happen for you? So if you would like the free masterclass on taking this further, how to attract new patients by educating virtually, go to bookedspeaking.com/virtual. So click on the link, register now, and I look forward to seeing you there. And till next time.